Доброе утро, Рав.
Good morning, Rav. Good morning to the whole world Kli.
Я здесь только благодаря вам.
I am here only thanks to you.
Та движущая сила
You are that moving force
толкает прямо к цели.
that pushes straight towards the goal. We have now an opportunity, a huge opportunity,
Прийти к тому, что подготовят для нас великие наши учителя.
to reach what our great teachers have prepared for us.
То, что вкладывает огромные силы наш учитель.
And the same thing that our teacher is investing huge forces in,
Прийти к объединению наших сердец, к общей
reach the unity of our hearts, a common request
о спасении.
for redemption.
Лихай.
Okay. Shalom. Que pouvons-nous dire ici? Sinon, que nous sommes venus de loin comme ça, pour suivre
Hello, when we came here from afar,
beaucoup d'émotions,
we followed lots of love and emotions, following our teacher, Rav,
dont la mission sacrée est de nous unir, de nous conduire
within this holy mission to unite, to devote ourselves to the Creator,
vers le Créateur qui nous a créés.
who created us.
Nous a créés, nous nous sommes séparés de lui.
He created us, and we became separated from Him.
Guide le Rav et de nous ramener vers là d'où nous sommes partis.
And the great task of Rav is to bring us back to the place from which we have become disconnected.
À l'endroit de notre guide, mais nous resterons éternellement reconnaissants pour cette tâche à laquelle il s'est sacrifié pour nous conduire vers l'unité. Et nous sommes pleins d'amour pour lui, pleins d'amour pour les frères.
And as much as we will try to continue this unity again and again, we will see that it is in our hands to come back and to realize our mission. And again, we will unite in a perfect manner.
Shalom. Miha.
This was Jeremy from Cameroon, our friend. And we heard before Zhenya from Irkutsk, Siberia. When a person enters the holy work and he wishes to reach his perfection, he must invest all of his forces in order to achieve the desire to want to give contentment to his Maker. And this is what he should focus all of his prayers on, that the Creator will help him and give him this new vessel, and say before him, Master of the world, as you have given me a kli when I was created in this world, which is only to receive for my own benefit, I am now asking of you to give me a new kli. That is, that I will only have a desire to bestow contentment upon you. Again, when a person enters the holy work and he wants to reach his perfection, he must invest all of his forces in order to attain the desire that he will want to bring contentment upon his Maker. And this is what he should focus all of his prayers on, that the Creator will help him and will give him this new kli, vessel, and say to him, Master of the world, as you have given me a kli in the beginning of my creation in this world, which is only to receive for my own benefit, I am asking of you, give me now a new kli, that is, that I will have a desire only to bestow contentment to you.
Hola amigos.
Hello, friends. Hello, Rav.
Hola Cli Mundial.
Hello, World Kli.
Al llegar aquí a Israel,
When I came here to Israel,
ha sido un parteaguas.
for me, it was truly a very difficult journey and an absolute change in my perception of reality. The example of the friends
Un motor, una motivación.
really gave me a motivation like a motor,
Este ejemplo a otros lados.
so that I can take this example to other places and dissolve the hearts.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
Mundial.
Good morning, World Kli.
Rav.
Beloved Rav.
Es emocionante poder estar acá con todos ustedes.
It is exciting, moving to be here with you, with all of you,
Como el corazón
to feel how
empieza a trabajar de una
the heart begins to work in a different way.
cómo se empieza a mezclar con todos los corazones de los amigos.
How it begins to mix with all the hearts of the friends from all the ends of the world.
Y solo digo gracias, Creador.
And I can only give thanks to the Creator
Por estar acá
and thanks to each one of you who is here,
y por ser parte de
that
esta gran
you are a part of the huge spiritual soul.
Buongiorno Rav.
Good morning, Rav. Good morning, World Kli.
Io non ho parole di fronte a tanta grandezza.
I have no words to describe the greatness that I feel.
Di fronte a tanta grandezza degli amici.
To be before the greatness of these huge friends, the greatness of our Rav,
Tutto il clima mondiale.
the greatness of the whole World Kli.
Posso portare mancanza, tanta mancanza.
I can bring a deficiency, a lot of deficiency,
Di tante generazioni.
a lot of deficiency of many generations, many students,
Di tanta parte del popolo.
a large part of the nation,
Una grande mancanza.
a huge deficiency.
Perché la verità è che non c'è direzione.
Because the truth is that there is no precise direction
saggezza, di questa saggezza.
for which there will be a need for this wisdom, so that there will be a need for light, for a lot of light.
E noi siamo qui per ricevere questa luce per passarla al mondo.
And we are here in order to receive this light and pass it on to the world. We have a role, a duty.
Dobbiamo realizzare il messaggio del Bala Sulam.
We need to actualize the message of Bala Sulam.
Rav, ce la mettiamo tutto, ci mettiamo tutto l'impegno noi.
Rav, we will make an effort as much as we can.
Apriamo tutto il nostro cuore
We will open up all of our
per
hearts
questa lezione.
in order to contain this lesson,
Veramente sia come la lezione più importante della nostra vita.
so that it will truly be the most important lesson in our life. And there is nothing else.
La cosa più importante.
This is the most important thing. The friends,
Rav,
our Rav,
il creatore,
the Creator,
la nostra grande mancanza.
and our huge deficiency.
Noi vogliamo questo, Rav, vogliamo ricevere la luce in
We
questa
all
lezione.
want it, Rav. We want to receive the light in this lesson.
L'Echaim, amici.
L'chaim, friends.
חברים, אנחנו מזכירים שטלפונים קבועים במהלך...
Friends, we remind you that our phones should be off during the lesson, except for people on duty. Anyone who gets the permission to ask a question is asked to stand up, hold the microphone close to his mouth, and speak loud and clear. We will be reading from Rabash Essays, page 33. One should always sell the beams of his house. Again, reading from the social writings. Rabash Essays, page 33. One should always sell the beams of his house. And we'll continue with quiet preparation.
שלום, אנחנו לומדים מספר...
Hello, we're learning from Rabash Essays, page 33, the essay, One Should Always Sell the Beams of His House. You can watch our lessons on Kabbalah.tv, and you can send us questions. Selected questions related to the study materials will be asked during the lesson. Again, reading from a sage's Rabash Essays, page 33, One Should Always Sell the Beams of His House. I'm very excited, this time more than usual, and I also hear from several people, from many people, that they have a certain special excitement this time towards our gathering. That certainly, I would say, we never had such a clear feeling that we have gathered here in order to establish a new society, a new connection, very special in that it will be matching, at least to some degree, on a very first degree, it will be matching the Creator, who is the force, who is the opposite of us, the force who is good, that does good. And we also want, to the very smallest degree, to resemble Him. And we have for this all of the preparations, we have for this all of the conditions, and the Creator is truly supporting us, helping us, is creating all of the conditions so it is truly felt in the society that there is excitement and readiness. More and more we understand what needs to be done and how it has to happen, that everything is within the common desire and not for anyone by himself, but only between us, that we discover this upper force, the force of love and connection, in which the light dresses the light of adhesion, of the purpose of creation. Therefore, we now have before us truly the work of summarizing what we went through since the previous Congress, when we started that final stage of the spiritual work. Before that, we were learning the qualities, and since the previous Congress a year ago until this Congress, we already learned the stages of the preparation for the first spiritual connection. This is called mitzvah, a precept or commandment from the side of the Creator, who is expecting us to actually execute this connection that will be similar to Him, that in our quality of connection we will attain His quality. We from the side of the Kli, and then He will dress from the side of the light, and we will have contact between us, connection, adhesion, at least on some first minimal degree. This is what is expected. The ascent to this state is a very difficult ascent. It is more difficult than all of the other ascents and all of the other degrees on the ladder. And this is why we truly need to be in great excitement with responsibility and adhesion, but mostly in arvut, mutual responsibility, that all of us want to think about all of us. I care about the others. This will also guard me not to lose the connection with everyone, not to lose the direction through the connection with everyone to the Creator. And therefore, let us now speak, to begin with, right now, about this question that if we are each care about the others, this guards us so that we will not leave the path. How does that work? Please, this is the question. How? By concern for my friend, his friend, all the friends, everyone, right? How by that I guarantee to myself that I will stay on the path. Please.
Man doesn't feel anything, but only if he creates a place to feel it, and that only comes from concern to the friends. In something he relinquishes the concern of himself, and then he can see how perfect everything is around him.
I would say even more than that, that where do all of these thoughts come from? About running away or leaving the path and all kinds of such things. The moment that you are thinking and busy with your own will to receive, obviously it's not going to want to go in this direction. So specifically by obligating yourself, and we obligate each other to engage in the desire of the friends, in their inclination towards spirituality, it frees you from that engagement in your own desire. that the very last thing that it wants is to go and bestow, because for it, well, so you're forcing it. It's worse than death.
Yeah, it really releases us from ourselves, from that prison of myself. After you understand that you're in prison, then you can't come out. And not that it's so easy to accept this new tendency, but from the necessity. They convince you year after year that that's the way. And also then you can understand it on your own.
It is impossible to understand it by yourself. It's impossible to implement it by yourself. That is, you won't succeed in thinking about the friends, even if you want to, if they don't think about you. If there is no such external force, seemingly external force working on you that will give you the ability to implement it. And each one of us should only have that inclination.
I guess this external power, which is the light, once you're concerned about the friend, it goes through you. You get a feeding from that light, and then you can keep going.
The I, me, is the person that we build between us. This is what passes on to spirituality. And when we invest in cultivating the friends, we actually invest in our soul.
This question has to really be important for us. And by being here, I think a lot about friends that were part of us and they were strong and good and wise, and they're not with us. And this question of what can promise me that I'll stay on the path, that question has to really sit tight in us, because the answer is probably nothing, but for now we have an opportunity to sign a covenant with the friends and the Rav, that no matter what, we're going to deal with very good states and also very difficult states. And we need to create that covenant between us.
Specifically, in such gatherings, there is an example from above, like some sort of grace that, to what extent, what does it mean not to think about yourself? What does it mean to live in the friends? And the question is, how much do you appreciate? How much does a person cherish it? How much does a person see in this something that you must not leave, only to invest more and more in it, to devote yourself to it? And this sometimes takes quite a bit of time, this process of reaching it.
That's why I would try to invest all of my efforts in that introduction that Rav gave before the question, this whole tendency that there's a great feeling of an opportunity, even much more than that. There's also a willingness to implement this opportunity, and obviously we do it together. And this whole tendency is only by mixing in it, by dealing with it. It also releases a person from his own desire and lets him be concerned about the others.
Maybe just a little bit to try to subjugate yourself. Maybe it's possible to see then that everything is ready on the outside, everything is happening, everything is just waiting.
Yeah, the only problem is me. That simple thing, supposedly, that of that self-subjugation, self-annulment, that you need to do that extra bit that sometimes seems impossible, and just to lower your head and be with everybody.
Rav, they say that the mitzvot, the precepts between man and his friend, come before the precepts between man and the place, the Creator. So the most important for me is first of all to connect with the friends, and then the Creator. And I, specifically in the connection with the friends, in order to connect with them, I use the Creator, right? This light that reforms the Torah. And later on, when I correct the connection with the friends, from that connection, we move on to a connection with the Creator. How do we do that? How do we shift? How do we use the Creator in order to connect between us? And then we use the connection between us in order to connect with the Creator. Please. Talk together, not necessarily in order, so long as something comes out which is together. That's more important than the right answer. Please.
The moment we want to come closer to the study, so first we need to have a vessel where to receive all the light that is in our studies, so we know that the vessel is the friends. But when we approach the friends, we feel we can't connect. So we have to turn to the Creator, that He will give us the ability to come close to the friends.
We can ask of the Creator to understand what is this togetherness that Rabbi is always demanding in the workshop. How do we reach a state? How do I reach a state where I come close to each friend, each one of you who's talking, that will make some room in myself for this together, in which we can find room for something new to appear.
Yeah, exactly like this tendency we were talking about now, that everything depends on the connection between man and the friends. As much as we invest in that, so we can create that connection between man and the Creator.
But again, apparently there cannot be any connection with the friends because there are no friends. It's only a projection of myself outside or something. I don't know what it is. But I can't be in contact with any stranger. I'm not really in contact with you. I see you through my eyes. I hear you through my ears. I truly need some upper force in order to see you and not to see myself the way I see you, for example. I don't see you the way you are, I'm sure. This creature, person, has no possibility to touch anything except for some adapter. So in order to touch you, I need the Creator as an adapter. In order to touch the Creator, I need you as an adapter. But I'm kind of screwed up. I'm not built for contact with anything which is outside of me. Another.
Yeah, and from this mess, Kabbalah say that there's a remedy. There's something our brain can't understand, that specifically from our efforts to search for that force and the connection between us, something happens. It's not something that we can do 1, 2, 3 and get 4, but we'll do 1 and 1 and 1 until something will happen.
There has to be a goal before our eyes. Why are we doing it? And here, immediately the Creator appears, because there's no logical explanation to what we're doing right now. We're doing it for this force, for some quality that exists, that is called the quality of bestowal, that has a certain height and grace within our hearts. And this is what is activating us. The friends as a means and the Creator as a means, it doesn't matter. We're going in this direction because this is the goal. This is the covenant that we made with respect to that goal.
In the end, only the demand is left. After all these efforts, a request has to come out, something that's born from us.
And this is maybe our togetherness, the efforts that each one of us is investing in order to get out of himself, in order to integrate with the others. This is what is in common, that each one of us and all of us together are trying to build this thing, to play with this thing.
Maybe that's that adapter that Henry was talking about, that we need between us and the Creator, and between us in order to get to some kind of relations between one another. But I think in the end, you force yourself to act. Even if the direction, I don't know if there's not a correct intention or a tendency, but at least we're walking in that direction and the light will make the changes. Nobody can explain how something happens from all the years he's here. We just keep going and add subjugation, and that's how things happen with you, whether you want it or not.
This thing that you are searching for, whose root is in a point in the heart, is not in the physical dimension. We have a tendency to restrict ourselves and talk only about this reality that we now feel, which is faces, bodies, people. But Kabbalists are talking about a different field that exists in the desire, in that inner connection, in that common soul of ours, something which is one layer above. That's where we have to search for that connection, and that's where that Creator is revealed, and there we connect. That's the place where we need connection. We don't need to be a bunch of guys.
There's a thing here that through the light we start feeling that in the friends is our vessel, and we start recognize the friends that they are the soul. And that's what lets us come out of a direction of absorbing to a direction that's searching from outside. And when this attitude changes, we can demand the Creator to be revealed in the friends, and the friends to be something more like I'm in control of it. It's like calibrating the two forces.
Sooner or later, if we follow the advice of the Kabbalists, we come to a place where we have no natural force by which to work on ourselves. All the nice words about annulment or concession, it's impossible. You cannot do it without us being correctly directed and asking for the right forces.
Rav, why specifically in the connection between us do we discover the upper world and its fulfillment as the upper force, the connection? Why specifically in the connection between us do we discover the upper world and the Creator filling it? Please. Why specifically in the connection?
There are two levels. There is man's nature, and there is you. And this impossible effort, seemingly, this thing that is revealed in that place between them, this is the addition of life that exists.
Why in the connection between us do we discover the Creator? I don't know. That's what Kabbalists tell us. That's one. So I guess it's the truth. And you can see from all your attempts to discover this Creator, you just discover more hallucinations and illusions. And if something happens, so through these attempts that we try again and again to connect the friends, as much as we understand or don't, but at least we're trying to make some kind of connection.
For sure, we can say that in a connection between people, we discover things. You can't discover them by yourself unless you make up some physical law, which is not so important. But things that nourish the person truly come from connections. Although that too is hard to accept, and it's kind of cheap in our eyes. It doesn't have any value to begin with.
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't really get it. I don't feel it so much. We can say that we want to count on what Kabbalists tell us, and we have. Maybe it settles somewhere in our rationality. We're all one soul, and we have to reach that state. But truly, in our feeling, it's a bit foreign.
Maybe we can put it this way, that the connection between us is actually a common place that each one made cleared from himself. We need to make room for the Creator to enter, and the connection between us is that place where each one makes some room in himself, and together we create that place.
Well, I'm trying to disconnect from this picture all the time, but like in Bchina Aleph, the first phase, when the vessel is created, he has an ability to discern that he's getting a fulfillment from somewhere. And he can also see that someone is giving him that fulfillment. There's a source where he is getting the fulfillment from, and he can recognize it, that it's giving, a giving quality. And then he wants to connect to the source that's giving the fulfillment. And if a person's living in his own bubble and only feels himself, so that's okay, he's on the animate level. But once he feels that he's dependent and connected to other people, that he's getting his livelihood from them, that he's actually getting his quality as man from them, so naturally he's trying to find out, what is this connection? To make this connection even better, and not only how to exploit it in a maximum way to my own benefit, in a way that I'm secluded from my environment. Whoever has a feeling awakened towards this connection, and that's what he's searching for, in this connection he discovers the system that turns the beast into a man.
Adam, man, means to reach a state where we are connected. And this is something which is hard to do each time anew, but this is the truth. And in our connections, when you're there, you see how much the thought of creation is wondrous. Because instead of just giving you your own small stinky existence, they give you the possibility to see the world through the eyes of the friends. And if a person just lets go of his hands from that little piece of cake he has and allows the friends to enter his heart, he begins to see the world through the eyes of the Creator. And this is a divine gift of.
We can hold on the path with the correct intention, in connection only by the force of the environment, and in no way with our own forces. That I am completely in the hands of the environment. I can't save myself from my ego, but only they can give me an ability to rise a bit above my ego, and then I can be under their influence, meaning man will help his friend. Just that. How can we organize now and towards the Congress more and more in our connection, whoever's here, whoever is around the world, our friends, how can we organize this mutual responsibility, that the fear, the anxiety, my concern will only be in order for the friends to not fall from the degree of adhesion, of our general degree of adhesion. That I'm only concerned about everybody's connection, not myself, that they will be connection, constantly only concerned about that in each and every one of us. And for sure, that will truly help us to be connected. Please. How will we organize this?
In fact, I don't know how we can organize such a thing. Indeed, it's impossible to say. How can you organize some kind of an inner feeling, some concern? I don't think that it's in our ability to organize this. It's an upper force. Clearly, it won't happen by itself. We need to somehow activate this force. But it's all for a request. I don't see anything else.
If there's a fire, So the milk will boil. They both depend on one another. And we do reach this necessity gradually. And we do get inspired by an external example, like monkeys. They do what they see. If we see that around us everybody's busy with something, so we're against that to start with, but we absorb it, and we do have responsibility to show an example of an awakening. And also today, when we had that exercise of the daily task to think about the friends, to think about the world Kli, first I said, how can you do it? But then I was thinking, and I thought that once I understand that my benefit of my life, of my soul, every good thing that I'm wishing for myself comes from my concern towards this virtual thing, so everything will be okay. Once I understand, once I'll have the fire, my milk will start boiling.
It is clearly felt how from one day to the next, from 1 year to the next, some inner agreement is built. More and more friends. You can feel in the friend that he's tired of coming from Chile here every year just for himself. He's tired of coming from Tel Aviv. It doesn't matter. Each one of you is giving his life every day. Is building this agreement here that it's not worthwhile living for myself. None. And now if we have this agreement, it's like magic. It's like this leap where you don't understand how you shift from thinking about yourself to other thoughts. But thank God there are enough friends who are doing it. And if there is this general agreement that we are ready for this, simply ready to be for the friends, it's like magic. It simply becomes easy. It's like a whirlpool that we've created and we're all in it. And it just takes you.
Because also we have to take into account that our process is educational. That in the end, who educates you? It's the light, again and again, that you are constantly in a tendency towards yourself. So it teaches you, gives you another change, another correction of your deviation, and he starts correcting you and showing you that if you be in a tendency towards the friends, things will be better. That's the direction we're going in. That's the goal. And all of these changes that the light makes in man lets him be more and more in concern towards the others and be released from concern about himself.
We generate a spiritual environment, and in this environment we have to be like in the corporeal environment. You have these activists who care about the quality of the environment. We need to care for the quality of the spiritual environment to reach a state where each one, as much as he can, gives an example that will give the friends the strength and the confidence to develop their readiness to go, that going above reason, it's okay, it's legitimate to care about the friends, even if my eyes and my mind don't see that any reward will come out of it. Don't get stuck on this point. Go above reason. Transmit to the friends love and connection and warmth, even though it doesn't seem to my ego that anything will come out of it. To simply participate in this kind of exercise that has to do with the next degree.
And why, in concern about myself, I awaken the negative upper light, the darkness, that brings me recognition of evil. And by being concerned of the others, of the friends, I awaken the upper light, the good one, the correcting one, that helps. And that's how I shift from the path of suffering to the path of the Torah. That if I'm concerned of myself, even in a nice way, doesn't matter how, that I want to bestow and show the Creator, no. By this, I just awaken the path of suffering, darkness, disconnection, and through recognition of evil, so I'll eventually come to the correct path. And if I think of the others and I'm concerned about the others, my friends, to connect and I'm standing guard, so by this I'm awakening the correct light, the upper force in the form of the face, that it bestows and corrects the connection between us and shines in us already as the inner light, as the creator. How can we, by such an attitude or a relation between us, change the way the light bestows upon us and shift from the darkness to light, light to darkness, from Torah to suffering? Please.
We have gathered here in order to establish a society. If we agree with that very first sentence, at least intellectually, then it's clear to us that the Kli exists outside of each one of us. And any action which is towards myself is an action that harms our advancement in the way of achishena, of hastening. And from here starts that race against time that a person runs, and gradually he convinces himself, intellectually, later on emotionally, that indeed the Kli exists outside of himself. So he shouldn't get stuck within himself, because no spirituality will be there. And what can you do?
On the other hand, it's not clear. What is the other side of the coin? Most of the time you see that from yourself nothing will come out, but the other side, you don't know that either. You don't know how to come out of the place that a person is in his own prison. And now what? What do you do with this now? You can't suddenly start being concerned about the others.
And sometimes your own prison is simply sweeter than some imaginary freedom. And that's a problem. It's a problem that we are so fools, such fools to begin with. Isn't it?
Every explanation, well, yeah, but every explanation, the whole beauty, it starts from perfection. We have a tendency to think that we have to come from the darkness to the light, that we have to do anything. And there's only light now. Just the darkness is an opportunity for us to give up on ourselves. It's like magic that a person can't do it alone. But if together in this table we decide now that there is no me, but everybody's in the others, that's it. We're already touching that reality in something.
And also, even more than that, all in all, what does the Creator want? He has no goal of throwing people away or tell them, don't come to me. To the contrary, He wants everyone to come to Him. And everyone are on the lane leading towards Him. So it all depends on how you actualize the path of coming to Him. If you actualize it in an incorrect manner, He awakens you through the darkness in order to correct your deviations and to start helping you to come to Him. If you start working the right way, then to the contrary, He shines on you with light that affects changes in you and corrects you and enables you to even carry out more actions that are in the right direction.
This example I drew like a prisoner that is sitting in prison and the gate is open, and he'd rather just sit there even though the gate is open. And there's a necessity in this darkness, because from the darkness you can come out to a new reality, the feeling of the light. That's why also this recognition of evil, of outside of me, this passage from thought and concern of myself to some kind of this high exalted word called annulment, or let's see, that seeing that new me, that the me is society, BB, the group, and not me is this one crawling here in a...
Rav, how do we shift our concern for the society between us so that each one of us will feel that the fate, the destiny is in His hands, that the general destiny is in His hands? How do we develop and shift our concern for the success of the society between us, so that each one will feel that the spiritual fate of the society is in his hands. Please.
Yeah, 2 days ago I've said that each one of us is Moshe Rabbeinu or something like that. So I believe him and I identify with it. I think everybody's acting in this game towards the world. Sometimes it also puts pressure that you think, wait, I have to love the whole world. I'm the keter of this world. Each one of us is in this point. And as much as our advancement as the friends are, as he likes them more or connects to them over the hatred, that's the measurement as much as we're advancing. That's the freedom of choice, that each one can put together his own puzzle. That's how it is in a circle. Each one is keter.
It's easier to translate than to speak here in the focus group. I can only say that if we won't pressure ourselves, then the Creator will come and pressure us. The Creator took us, He gathered us from all kinds of places, and He brought us here. And we're being told that we are responsible for our fate. Now the thing is, do we take it on ourselves or not? That's what it's all about. If we agree with it, then everything changes.
And now, relatively, it's not difficult because there's a lot of friends that came from around the world and made great efforts and brought a big desire to connect with them and a big desire to discover the Creator between us. And I'm thinking about myself. It's me drilling the hole in the boat. It puts a lot of pressure on me. That's a responsibility to be in concern about the friends and not to jump into concern about myself, that by that I'm ruining for everybody.
I actually feel the opposite, that if the friends won't think about me, then I stand no chance to start feeling this responsibility. I feel exactly the opposite of that. I feel that specifically I'm lost unless the friends think about me, because by myself I cannot generate any force that will be towards the outside.
But how will you feel that the friends will love you if you're not concerned about the friends? You see the society is great only if you take a bigger role. Society isn't these great words. It's what we're trying to build of the greatness of the Creator. And that's every moment. Again, it's like this agreement that you can't come up to the friends and say, Rami, come on, yeah, let's... Until it's not carved in our heart from the friction, the warmth and cold, and I'll beat him until it hurts. But until there's nothing real between us, a person can't do anything.
Rav, there are only two forms of advancement, spiritual advancement. Either the Creator cares for it, then it's called the path of suffering. He awakens us, because nevertheless, without showing a deficiency, we cannot advance. But the revelation of the deficiency, if the Creator is awakening it, it's the path of suffering. We feel it in a very unpleasant manner. Or we awaken ourselves. And then it is called the path of the light, the path of the Torah, because we're asking, we're building it, but through the connection between us. So the question is, how will we always walk on the path of the Torah, the path of the light, in the path where we awaken the dawn, and it's not the Creator? So that it will be good for us. We can quickly reach the correction. How can we awaken ourselves instead of allowing the Creator to awaken us? Truly so. We are in competition with Him. How can we do it? Truly to be in competition, to feel that I'm not giving Him an opportunity to awaken us. Rather, we are constantly awakening ourselves by ourselves. The moment we don't, we fall from the good path to the bad path. This is called, I have created the evil inclination, that each and every moment, if we don't show the inclination to the good by ourselves, then the bad, the evil, is revealed. Please, how do we not give the Creator an opportunity to work? Rather, we do it.
I don't know, maybe this person has to be a superhero to do it alone and decide that I'm always going to remind myself I have to be first and not the Creator. But there's states, and this moment later, you're not in this state anymore. I don't know, maybe the only chance we can get to some agreement between us, maybe after blows, I don't know what, but what do we need to go through so we reach an agreement to remind each other or to do some kind of... We have a responsibility, but either we do it or we don't do it. I don't know, how can we measure that or not doing it, let's say? Do we agree with this or do we do it? And I just don't know what is our state as a society. Are we okay or do we have a problem in this function?
We have to check how much I'm in a state where I can awaken the friends. Clearly, this inclination has to be in me all the time. Sometimes I'm capable of it, I feel that I have forces for it. Sometimes nothing, I feel that I must be awakened. So each one of us will do it according to what's in his forces, but he will do it if he has it.
I think this thought that I'm a partner to, that it brings me to death every time. Yeah, everybody does it when he does it, whenever it comes, but it won't come. And for 2 weeks it didn't come.
But to continue this, Rab said yesterday, which the God is created to do. In the end, I remember in certain times in the aquarium or certain times we went down on our knees and we asked Rab, how each day you get up in the morning, every day you get up in the morning. And Rab said, I would say, I'll get up in the morning, I take a shower, I go to the lesson, I sit. Every time it would be the same answer. That's it. You simply have to. You don't understand this answer, but simply we need some inner agreement by all of us. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing, constantly doing.
Deeds, it's no problem. I can do deeds every day. At least from my experience also in the corporeal life and also here, I'll wake up every morning and do what I need to. But still, it doesn't always bring the heart to wake up.
If on the outside there's an environment that told us that ice cream is fun, money is fun, and when somebody applauds you, it's fun, then you put yourself in an environment here that tells you that to connect is fun. It's an elevator. It's something that takes you to a different place, which in quality, it's like a different standard of quality. It's something outside of this world. And if we pick the path, not the goal, not when we reach there, if we reach there, but specifically our path, our daily work as a gift, as the highest thing in reality, and if we appreciate it as the best hours that we have in these 24 hours that are full of many kinds of nonsense, and I don't want to say, words here, that suddenly you have 3 hours here of a gift from heaven, then suddenly you appreciate every minute, you appreciate this work. Not what will I get out of it in the end.
But I think our ego isn't a kid anymore. You can't buy it with candy. Fun, fun, fun. I don't believe it.
Rav, what is the difference in the correction that is done in the group of Abraham, in which representatives of the 17 nations of the world have gathered, that were in Babylon, the whole of humanity that back then was in Babylon, and they went through, they had a correction this group in which there were people from all of these small nations. And what is the correction that is done today after there was a shattering in that group? That is, first of all, they reached the greatness of the correction, the end of their correction in the first temple, but only theirs. And they fell and they were shattered, and they mixed with all the other Babylonians, with the whole of humanity, during the 2000 years. And now, again, we are in Babylon. And all of those who are awakening are like, well, let's say that Abraham, that same notion, concept, that is also calling others to unite and to be corrected. But what is the correction between us? That in Babylon, those who came to Abraham connected versus us. After our sparks have come to the end of correction, and then they fell to the great ego, and they incorporated, mixed with the whole of Babylon. And now we also have to create this connection between us. Love covers all crimes, love your friend as yourself. What is the difference between these two corrections? Start talking together. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Each one of you, everyone. Suddenly you will feel that it becomes clear. Please. And also, for the question, for it to be more clear, speak about that first. Please.
What I understood from the question is, what's the difference between Abraham's generation and the correction and ours? Yeah, in the correction. In the correction itself, the difference is that Abraham just took a part of humanity, and we, through our connection, we include all of humanity. And obviously, our coarseness compared to the others in Babylon is completely different.
Henry was, if you would look at the audience in a play that he's doing, you see that everybody is pretty much the same characters, about 60 years old, sitting there, passing the time. But if you put your head up and look, you'll see people from Chile, from Siberia, from Australia, from America, people who are 18 years old and people who are 80 years old. Certainly they have different views, certainly they have different thoughts, and at the same time they're sitting in a single place under a single teacher with a single book, and this is what they were drawn by. They came out of their own desire. This is what is tickling them in their belly button, and they feel that there is an upper force who is connecting them. Just like with Abraham, who gathered this group of Babylonians, each one has his own nonsense, and at the same time they were searching for that point of connection, to be as one kli, and to search in it for a single force, which is the force of connection, which is the force that exists in nature.
Yeah. I hope Abraham won't get mad at me, but I think at his time there wasn't any matter of freedom of choice. It was instinctively it all happened. We just need a leader in the generation, a Kabbalist that'll wake up and perform actions on that mess. And in our generation, there is a Kabbalist that's awake and leading humanity along with the rest of the Kabbalists. But the whole mess that has to join him and at first do it only by the awakening that the Creator did, then they have to do it with freedom of choice to start implementing the method from their desire to implement this process on themselves.
At first, while Rav was asking the question, I was thinking, I got it now. Our toy is not working because we're not connected to the battery, which is the whole world. But then again, he locked me outside of Bnei Baruch, and again, I have no clue what to do. But maybe you're right. Maybe about this matter of the freedom of choice that we do have, that it's so hard to even approach it. You hate so much this whole matter of the lack of freedom of choice. Maybe that's where the answer is.
I don't think there's a difference between us and them. It's a group of people that were awakened from above then and today. You can't really say then. And I think that if there is a difference, it's the state of the generation. That back then, all of humanity didn't need this general correction. And today, yes, even if we don't feel it, there's a need for it, and we see it.
Abraham's generation were very pure, so any movement they did, immediately they would discover the lights. We don't understand anything compared to the previous generations. We just want. That's all we can do, want. But we don't really understand the spiritual systems as in the previous generations.
I think on a degree of pureness where nobody has anything, it's easy to connect and create this good feeling of together. And in the generation of Abraham, we needed to connect and then break and discover the difference. We have to come from the place that we look at the difference between us. First we hate it, and then we appreciate it and see how great this thing is, that everybody is different. And then that shattering to come and correct it, to search for the glue that connects the parts and see that is important.
I agree with the friends, and I add that the kli is rich now in our work. If we pass it from theory to practice, is to simply integrate. I came here, I said, I'm going to sit with Russians and English and Americans just to integrate. This is what we can do here. No, this is a joke that every day we don't absorb the deficiencies of the friends. It's a crime against humanity. We now really have to reconstruct this thing before the Congress, because in that's where all the answers will come from, not in self-diggings within my little brain. That's just a waste of time. This path is the opposite of logic. I saw it in all kinds of different senses, and as little about myself and more about the others. That's the safest way to succeed in this path of Abraham.
I agree that the biggest joke is that we can get inspired by friends that came from far away, and from the ones that sit here every day and give every moment and every second, we don't see anything in them. It's very difficult. But about the question, there's like a stream of fish, a school of fish or birds. So it's very simple. You have to be drawn to the mass and not bump into the others. Now, the more you're rejected to the others, you have to be drawn to the ones close to you even more. That's what I think. The more rejection is revealed, in the end, the connection that's close is like metal. It has to be much more important to have this general flow. It's a new level of intensity.
I think that to continue what we're saying, let's say Rav had Rabash that he cared for, who cared for him. Rabash forced him to care for him because of his age and the situation of his health. It fell to him from the heavens. Maybe we need to force ourselves also to care for each other. If you would care for each other, it would bring us out of ourselves, because we're not caring. I don't feel that I have to care for you, and you don't feel you have to care for me, because there's no reason.
There is a reason for concern. I don't need a foot or a hand to fall off. We need the feeling of the friend if there won't be a connection between us, and not a group and not work between us, so the friends are dead. A lot of people die on the street, that they go from the supermarket to work to TV, to bed. You don't want to be one of those. You want to live. And there's friends here that their life depends on you and me, and just like that, their life, that's our life. Without that, they have no life. And it should take the sleep a bit. We should lose sleep over it. And we need to work on this feeling, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I don't know how we came to talk about that, but again? Okay. But if we started talking about the concern, I need to feel your deficiencies in order to be able to care, to be concerned. And when I see friends who come here, sometimes I feel that I owe it to them because they invested so much. Their deficiency is very much externalized, so it forces me, it obligates me. We need to externalize our deficiencies. I don't know how we can do such a thing, but for sure it's possible.
For sure, lecturing me won't help me. I'm not concerned about my kids, so I think I'll be concerned about you.
I agree that it's another kind of a joke about us, that when we have a friend who's in a tough state or somebody in his family, naturally your will to receive, you're concerned about him for a few seconds. And in those few seconds you get very much excited. How can we reach that every moment you feel that the friend is dying and it's his livelihood, his life depends on you? I guess if we could feel that, it would also be in the will to receive out of pride. I don't know, somehow we need to reach to a state where I don't care about what I feel. I don't care. I don't feel with what I feel. I just don't care. And then the question comes, what is the point in all of this? Well, I don't care. I just want to.
Why being concerned about others assures me that I won't be concerned of myself, and no evil will fall upon me. Why concern about the others assures me that I won't be concerned of myself, and also that no evil will fall upon me. What happened?
Concern for the other is it's a kli of avut. It's an equivalence of form with the light, with the Creator. There's no greater force than the light. All other forces surrender. We feel it. We're living in it. We're living for it. It's our hope. Our hope is to be in dvekut with the light all the time. And not only because it makes you stop worrying, but you just feel whole. That's what we're looking for. The thing is that the wholeness is in the other, where I don't want to go, where it repels me the most.
Something that is common for all of us. Nobody likes being the loser. Nobody likes going to work and nothing will come out of this. We've seen Kabbalists that what you're searching for results for yourself, actually nothing will come out except for frustration. So if that's what you're dealing in, so just know nothing will work, only frustration. You can invest your forces in the correct place, which is concerned about the others. Through that, the connection between you will change, and there'll be a vessel and light and creator and dvekut and everything. That's the key. Don't be a loser in this.
When I sell something to someone, I pretend to be nice. I take interest in how he lives, how he helps his friends. It's part of the game. And without it, he knows I'm acting. I know I'm acting. We're all acting out. In the end, though, there's some truth there. And Kabbalists are telling us the same. Start worrying about the other in a very, basic way. And then gradually things begin to work and you suddenly discover the Creator and the connection between us. I just want to say this. We're playing chess with the Creator here. So you can either stay in your nature and be an idiot the rest of your life, concerned with yourself, or play this game. Intellectually, it convinces me. Doing it emotionally, every time anew, you have to kind of cross to another nature. But that's the game, that's nature, and that's the truth, and we want to rise above our current nature. So we have no choice.
Yeah, an optimistic workshop. So what else can I add? We're built in a way that when you feel bad, you're like a snail. You just go inside and that's it. I don't want anything. I'm in my shell. Don't talk to me. And now to pass on, to start engaging with others, that's even a bigger problem. That's why you constantly need to have some kind of greatness to show me the benefits, show me a reward by me engaging in the other's desires, that this thing will be up in the air. As much as you're concerned about the others, it'll be a prize, even in an egoistic way, but I'll go for it from my desire.
Rav, how do I convince myself that I have no concern for others, that this is my soul, and I'm worried about it? Clear? How do I convince myself that my concern is not for others because there are no others, it's my own soul, and I'm concerned with it?
You have to teach it. Once you teach it, you go, okay, I said it. So then your students, they ask you questions. You have to give answers. In short, you can't convince yourself. You have to create an environment that you convince, and then it convinces you back.
I guess there is no other way to work with the ass, with the donkey, but only with a carrot, by fear that I'll suffer, and by the temptation that I'll enjoy. And then your pride wakes up and says, no, I'm no donkey, you can't buy me this way, but no, do buy.
From life experience, one needs to at some point conclude that he's not that smart, that there are others smarter than him. And a person has the opportunity to go for faith in the sages. Kabbalists tell you, listen, you want to grow? Here's the path, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go for it. Now you can say yes, no, maybe, or just go for it.
We don't really have a choice. We have to go for it. Like we said before, it's all a matter of importance. It all depends on what's in the air. If we constantly talk about how your soul is around you all the time and it's you, it's your life, this is the result of life, what happens in your soul. If we help each other go from this phase where the result is what you have in my small desire to the result being in them, that's the end of it. Everything will change. But we have to talk about it. At least I can't hear it. I'm not being critical. I just cannot hear this conversation between us all the time. My soul is here. It's you. I can't hear it.
I actually do agree that my soul is here, but from that point to doing something, there's also no strength. This is the problem. You face your soul, your legs and hands are cut off, but you don't care. This is the problem. For somehow we're years on the path and we saw and realized this is part of the game, and probably this body is not going to go to any spirituality. There's no chance. Any day I'm here, I'm thankful to the Creator that there's another day that we are here meeting and connecting. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. From experience, I don't know. But just to move a step forward, it's not about persuasion. I'm persuaded. Now, how do you make this step forward? Because the ego just stands still and doesn't move in this point because it has nothing to look for there. And here we need the friend's help. I don't know how, why, but then suddenly the examples and what Rabash writes begins to shine for the first time. It's work.
What can make the ego move forward is to feel that the Creator is great. So the friends should talk about how great the Creator is, and how good it is to work for nothing for the Creator, because it's a huge privilege. And then the friends start talking about it, and then something begins to move.
Still, a person, gets beaten, and he cares about himself, and then he gets beaten, and then it helps.
Rav, how do I arrange the influence of the environment on me, which is called arvut, the mutual guarantee, so I will constantly think about it. This is my soul. I'm willing to think about it, but for one moment, and then I leave it. Unless they force me to this thought, to this intention, I will not be able to do this. So, how do I organize the influence of the environment on me so that I will influence it? And only work in this way. There is nothing else. The influence of the environment on me and my own influence on the environment. Go ahead. How do we organize it? And what exactly do we do? What are we giving? How are we influencing?
It all depends on urgency. If a person has nothing to eat at home, he'll be willing to do anything. So a person needs to be willing to do anything for any time. Whatever you want. I'm on my knees. Just give me the greatness of the Creator. Just give me the ability to not think of myself and care for you.
The example of having no food at home or anything that makes me do things is out of suffering. When you suffer in your desire, now you want not to suffer, so you go deal with something else. And here the question of avut is not like, it's not like, let's be in avut because I'm suffering. It's let's be in avut because through this we get connection with the Creator, we get the highest thing in reality. By this, we liberate ourselves, because why are we here? We are here to establish a society with a clear goal, and in this we are guarantors. We allow each other to do it. We enable each other.
Again, I think we are giving too much credit to each other or to ourselves. If the Nazis won't come, I won't go to the concentration camp. We have to force ourselves to do that work in that camp. We don't want to. No one wants to. Like Rav said, we have to force each other. If you're not going to force me, I'm not going to do it because I feel no need for it. So great that I, feel without a soul. I'll live without a soul. It's not that bad. I don't feel that bad. In short, I need someone to force me. Not with words or, it's maybe worthwhile. Like when I was a kid, my dad would force me and I hated him for that. So maybe you have to take this chance that I'll hate you back and the other way.
But what's the interest, when everyone's in spirituality and you're not, aren't you...
I don't believe you unless I feel that you're in spirituality. I need the vessels to feel that you're in some place that I'm not. But if you just tell me, why will I trust you?
One of the most fascinating things I saw was when I saw there's some kind of a rolling at one of the congresses. This person with academic degrees and whatnot, doing this, I think he was some Navy ship commander, did something so silly like rolling on the grass. And really, that sinks into you because it's an example of the acting we need to do between us and how we build it. Yesterday we had the prayer exercise. And while I was speaking to a customer, I felt like the friends were thinking about me. I felt like I was arguing with him about money, and all of a sudden, bam. So that's the network that exists. So I must have done something good if I felt this network. Without it, you wouldn't be able to feel it. But it exists, and we influence each other. And we have to, make this effort in order to feel it.
And this arvut is really a sense of pressure that I can't think of myself. I agree with Henry that we have to feel pressure, and that pressure only comes from arvut, from the feeling that I cannot think of myself. Not that I don't want to, I can't, because the friends pressure me, and then I and then I exit myself. This is a feeling that we must create and force the Creator to be able to force each other in a way that we can't leave these thoughts.
This thing about how we build an environment for ourselves, when we perceive the situation differently is fine. The question is, do I agree that my tomorrow will be as today and the day after that as well? If we don't agree, then we have to think about how we build an environment that creates a pressure. It's not going to happen by itself. No one's going to care for no one, and no one should wait to be taken care of. He has to be worried about how he creates this new environment that will put the pressure, apply the pressure on him. If this is what he feels, what does he do? There are advice. They're telling you go buy gifts to the friends. Take 100 shekels and spend 2 shekels on each friend. It'll create some kind of commitment, some kind of a bridge. We should all beat ourselves up in a place that moves us, that hurts us a little bit.
Rav, what's the difference between love of friends, love of the world, and love of the Creator? What is the difference between these kinds of love? A difference of kli, a difference of light, a difference of feeling, a difference of the order of revelation. Please.
What's the difference in the love between
love of friends, the world, and love of the Creator?
There's self-love. That's it.
Probably there's a difference in the vessels, or there isn't in the vessels. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still wondering if I have to set up a labor camp for David so he can advance in spirituality. I don't know. The difference between the world and the family and the Creator is to what extent it's detached from my ego. If I'm involved in it, then maybe they're close friends. If I'm not involved, then it's the world. And if I'm totally detached, then it's the Creator.
Maybe the love of friends is something you build from your effort, meaning you're given all the conditions, but now you have to work on that, you have to begin to create it. Exactly like Rami just mentioned, that if you want some influence of the environment on you in the next moment, you have to build it. You have to build what you're going to have in the next moment. And it's exactly the way in which we attain love of friends. Once we attain love of friends, the whole issue of love of the Creator is instantaneous. You have that immediately as well. You can't just run chasing air. You have to attain the vessel in which it can dress.
Love of friends is something that I need to create, something I create by awareness, that by creating this connection between us, I will build a spiritual kli for attainment of a new quality, a quality that doesn't exist in me, that is felt as superior, but it doesn't exist in me now. An investment in the friends, it's not like they love me or that we love each other and we go watch soccer together. It's that type of connection that I build toward them, of concern for them, to see them as great, to annul before them, creates a type of connection within which a new quality can be revealed. That we create together a quality of bestowal, a quality of love.
Maybe really love of friends, we have to actually figure out what love is, but what my thought was that it's something that obligates you, that you can check yourself against, and love of the Creator is something.
In our world, we have love for nature, for life, for the most natural love is love for the kids. Natural. Everything else is it comes and goes, so to speak. It can stop. It didn't exist before, and then it came. What's it like in spirituality? Love for the group, meaning love your friend as yourself, and love for the Creator, and you will love the Lord your God. Which is more natural, more primary, more main? How does it happen? Go ahead.
I think that loving the friends is spiritual. There's nothing loftier than loving the friends. Love of the Creator is just some title. There is no Creator or anything. There's just friends. You've got that. And I have many imaginations. There's this magical ego that just imagines things that it prefers to live with, to live in. And friends, I think that's the most important than everything else. We really live in a dream. We're living in a dream world.
We're living in a dream, in a film. I have nothing in common with any of you. If we were outside, we wouldn't be understanding each other. Love of friends is just the ability, the attempt to feel in you that something close that is the closest to you more than anything external. Love of the Creator is if you come to appreciate that very annulment, that very inclination outward, just to be in that direction above what you feel and think.
When we begin to enjoy this quality called love, I don't know, I had this example that, a person who likes dogs goes into the dog hound, and he then takes one home and he starts taking care of it, and he begins to take it to walks and give it food, and he begins to connect with it, and somehow he begins to appreciate that connection with his pet that he brought. So he basically creates the conditions to love.
Okay, now there's coffee. But in truth, this week we talked a lot about love and how it addresses, love of friends, love of the Creator. The whole way begins with the Creator waking you up, and at some point, you, with your internal inclination, you want to attain, get something better, and then you're told it's a Creator, so you come here, and then people tell you have to love the friends and whatnot. But the only way to get that is to make more and more concessions. You concede another part of me and another part of me. You relinquish yourself and you do something for them. You relinquish yourself again, you do something for them. And the more we do it, maybe in the end there will be love for the friends. I'm not even talking about love for the Creator. That's too far ahead for me.
Look at this thing of natural love towards children. Nature forces you to care about them. It doesn't just give you a good feeling, I love them and that's it. It forces you to care for them. You care about their food, you care about the nature forces you. So maybe the key to the love we're talking about is concern. That you can't just love if you aren't concerned, if you are not anxious about their well-being. And the more anxious I am about my children, the more I love them.
Why, if my soul is in the friends, then why is it so difficult to come among them, to connect them, to care for them, to just love them? If they are my soul, if my soul is there between them, in the connection between them, why is it difficult? What's more important than the soul, part of God above, my own eternal part? So why can't I constantly be concerned with this? There's nothing else. Nothing is more important to me, more precious. So, if we attribute importance to it, maybe it'll be easier for us to think about connection between the friends, to awaken my soul there, to be attached to it. I'm not attached to the friends, I'm attached to my own soul. I'm not attached to their connection. I'm concerned with the creation of my soul and its broken pieces. I'm concerned with the Creator, shining in it. It is seemingly a very regular, egoistic work, very important and therefore easy. Will it succeed if we do it this way or not? If we relate to it in this way, will it work out for us or not?
It's actually very accurate. The question of why don't I care about them if they are my soul? The problem is I don't have a clue what my soul is. If you tell me my soul, it doesn't hit any point. I can't detect where it's going. I'm just going blindly after what the Kabbalists say, and I want this thing to become true. Maybe as the more we try in the actions that we're acting and doing, that I do it for my soul, that I'm serving my soul, maybe that will start making it more alive.
I think that then the Creator will spread His poisonous gas on you, and you'll forget everything, and you'll forget what the soul is. I have no idea what a soul is, and I don't even have any importance for it. I don't know what eternity is. I prefer 5 minutes of other pleasures, or half an hour, whatever it takes you. The Creator makes us not think about it and forget. Soon I will forget who the Creator is, but for a moment I feel like I have this power from above that brings me down by force with my face in the gutter.
So what are we doing then? It's we still sit here with each other. Yeah, I understood the goal of the question was to try to awaken each other. It's obviously detached from our feelings completely. It's obvious that by nature a person is, magnetized towards himself, and he can't care about anything outside of that, because who's going to care for me? Sure, that's clear, but the question is, how do we start working towards each other?
It's actually not clear. It's not clear. And I suggest we believe the friends that it is possible through the connection between us we can find this soul. Even if we just act it out, doesn't matter. And the point, my point, is that I think that egoistically we can't do it because the barrier of nature is very strong. Like the friends said here, he would prefer to commit suicide and not go into any soul. I don't care. Because you suddenly realize you have nothing that's called bestowal. So the next step into this new nature doesn't convince you. It's not tempting. I believe, but I don't want to go. I don't want to go there. I prefer my only little corner and just rot there to the end of time. That's it. That's what I want. That's the point, because you know that there is better, and you prefer for him to come with a bayonet and stab your throat with it, and then that's where I'll be buried. That's where I want to stay. Great.
Chaim, this feeling is if you see a 2-year-old holding a teddy bear and doesn't let anyone play, and he says it's my teddy bear, that makes sense for a 2-year-old. But if he's a 40-year-old and he still says it's my teddy bear and he can't give up on it, that's a kind of a problem. So we know to appreciate things that we can perceive in matter, and we care for our car, our dog, our pension, and so forth. We don't realize we're stuck.
Rav, what stages in our spiritual advancement can we do without bestowing upon the entire world? And at what point what we attain must spread out throughout the world? To us, it's by a gradual work. To them, it is instantaneous. For them, it's instantaneous. What stages should we go through? Can we go through in our correction without bestowing upon the world? And at what point, from what states, what we're going through will pour out and spread out into humanity, into the world.
We work between us a lot about the greatness of the path, the greatness of the goal, the greatness of the friends, and then we actually work on overcoming the hatred and all the reality that we see in our own eyes. Where is the Creator, where is spirituality? We always have these two lines in us, and that's our work, and this is something that doesn't go out. But the moment we can direct these two lines with the Creator, then all the contrast we see on the outside that has no solution, that's exactly what spreads to the world, that we can hold on to the two opposites and discover the Creator there. And what they get is just that perfection without all the scrutiny on the way.
We have to achieve connection between us in this workshop, in this Congress, out of all the frustration and everything we talked about, which I think was beautiful. We have to rise up and make this week the game of our lives, because otherwise we really are a little pitiful. We come here in the morning instead of enjoying ourselves in bed. Why do it? So this is our magic hour. This is our time to achieve the connection, so that afterwards we'll be able to pass it on.
This feeling that the world outside suffers and needs, we need to go out to the world and collect the deficiencies that these children we love are going to suffer from a very evil and divided world. And we have to generate the kli between us. When we make that connection between us, something will happen in the system, and it will spread. The sense of connection will appear in a more tangible way.
I didn't really understand this whole thing about frustration, all this emotional excitement, all those emotions. Come on, guys. Right, yeah, everyone's acting, except me. In any case, what I'm saying is, either from suffering or from the greatness of the friends, we have to achieve an element of ourselves and want to be outside of ourselves. We can do that in the 10. When we get our vut, and so we rise above ourselves. But anything beyond it, any vitality development, anything that is beyond that point has to be toward the world.
From my little experience on the path, I see that we're always working with these two opposites. You're always working on the inner connection, that inner bond, and as much as you can, you also walk on the outside to bring the method to the rest of the world. We can also see it from, Rav's schedule. Look at his day, that a part of his day he's building the group, the other part is the whole day works on the rest of humanity. I think we have to do the same, basically.
I don't think we and Rav are the same.
Rav, how do I guard myself to always be feeling and seeing the fact of the matter in mind and heart, that what I feel in my heart and what I think in my mind comes to me from the Creator, because He is first? How do I feel and understand in heart and mind that it comes from the Creator? That besides the feeling and the thought, I also have a deeper thought and a deeper feeling that it comes from the Creator. How do I try to hold on to that, to develop this fact? Please.
I
think it's a result of the work of the light. Can you kind of summon this thing or draw it?
I'd like to have this thing.
I think it exists all the time. It's the prison we're in. It's pretty clear to me that this is what's happening. And like you said before, you're held by force in your own nature, but you're also given a chance. You're told there's something else, there's something beyond. So here it's our choice to stay in this nature or to finally get up as human beings and change this reality. Because I think this feeling exists and it's very strong, that you're being held by force.
Every time we try, linearly to see how do I collect a series of actions that leads me to a result, I have this short circuit in my brain. I don't see any way that a person makes actions and comes to that state. The state is given. So, the only thing that I can think of, like the friend said, that by mechanical actions of building the environment, giving them the greatness of the Creator, investing in them, being concerned about them, not to be in myself, by that a person receives the ability to relate everything to the Creator, that he has nothing of himself.
I totally agree. That's an example from this lesson. From the beginning of the lesson we've been talking. I never once thought about how everything that goes through my mind is the Creator. I suddenly mentioned it, and then I went, oh, right, you have this thing too. So we have to build an environment for ourselves that constantly, whispers in your ear that everything that happens to you, all that you feel is the Creator. Like you have this kind of annoying, nudging sound in your ear that reminds you of it. And then it'll wash us. The bottom line is, everything that happens to us in the next moment is a complete result of what we're building of ourselves right now.
In due time, the Creator tells you, look, I'm managing you, I'm pushing you. But if by hastening time we want to determine that there's none else besides Him, then it's the connection that we make. It's the difference between He that keeps you stuck in your nature and you deciding to rise above it with the friends and move towards the upper nature and say, you are my soul, I don't deal with what I feel and what I think, I at least play in that and I want to be with you above everything, all that I have. That's what the sages talk about, and that's where we need to be, and that's the Creator on a higher level.
Right. We have to remind the ego that it's just a created being. Someone created you. Someone set up the conditions, the environment for you, the system of development. You're just a created being. All you need to do is absorb the environment you're living in, agree with it, merge with it, integrate with it, not object to it. It's not that complicated.
It's unbearable, this thing that there is someone above you that controls you, that you're like an animal that just, you can't really raise your head up. This is really difficult, at least to me. Only when friends talk about it, I suddenly realize that I have to lower my head towards them and the Rav and the Creator. But if they don't talk about it, there's no chance. My head goes up high.
This beast is not a cat or an alligator. It's a human being. It's got the potential to be similar to the Rav, to the Creator, and that's where it's aiming. This temporary feeling of I'm an animal, don't forget you're a human animal.
I think really that this agreement, this point of agreement that you're like a beast, that you get up in the morning and the donkey goes to the lesson and then it takes its walk and then goes back to the Zohar lesson and so forth. That is just the deletion of the I. But the I is, that person who looks for where am I, where is my purpose. Oh, that's the mother of the snake.
How do we attain the real self of the human who exists among the thoughts or in the thoughts and desires that the Creator creates in him, and the reactions from the society which the Creator establishes and positions, and in between them, between man and the world? And man is entirely a result of the Creator, and the world is entirely also a result of the Creator. So how do we, by what relations between the world and man, which is the Creator, manifesting in these two ways, how do we, in between them, establish our entity, our independence, our existence? That there is none else besides Him. When there is none else besides Him, where is there also room for me as well? I'm done. I asked.
This means that this recognition of none else besides Him is necessary. It comes first, because only by recognizing none else besides Him, we come to the recognition of who we are, and then we will look for this point of independence and we'll find it. It means that our first obligation as a society, as a group, is to remind each other that there's none else besides Him, to force us to swallow this pill, to just shove this pill down the friend's throat, and they'll swallow it, they'll spit at your face on the way, but you have to do it, because by that you force them to shove it down your throat. And I'll certainly spit in your face. I'm not going to believe you, but he has to continue, and I have to continue forcing the friends to know that there's none else besides Him, because that really is the only condition for the creation of man.
All that's left is to agree with it. That this is me. The self that agrees that there is none else besides Him, even towards spirituality. I want to attain it myself. I want to feel what bestowal is. You have to agree. Just agree.
All questions have one answer. Thankfully, that's what I've learned. And that's connection. When we advance towards connection, it's exactly the puzzle that starts coming together. And then all these questions and unsolvable equations egoistically begin to...
Rav, you can picture it this way. The Creator is half behind me and half in front of me. I'm the first and I'm the last. When I try to grasp it, in between, I restrict myself like I don't exist, zero. When I acquire the qualities of bestowal, I grasp both spaces. I'm the first and I'm the last because I sympathize with him. All right? Because I become identical with him. So talk about it.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's like the force of life in nature. There's exhale, inhale, and there's something that is awake. Now, we always try to think about how poor we are, miserable we are in this self. But on the contrary, the will to receive is a gift. It's the opportunity to devote yourself to the corrected reality. So the fact that I fall into myself is thanks to the Creator, who gives me the ability, the opportunity to rise above and do something. And I'm just the point that identifies that now I'm going this way, now I'm going that way. It's like a muscle that flexes, contracts, and expands. Just look at this workshop. For almost 2 hours we're sitting and we went through from Abraham to I don't know what, and we didn't get tired. Where's it coming from? It's us or what?
What else can we say? The Creator is behind me, the Creator is in front of me. All that's left for me is to annul myself time and time again. Right. Previously, when Henry talked about the pill, the Creator pill, I think it's necessary that we, because this is the essence of the Arvut, really. How are you a guarantor? You're a guarantor that if you pray for the friend, pray that he'll have contact with the Creator, that he'll see that he's behind him and in front of him, because if we held the Creator and he controlled our lives, then everything around that would be happening around would be part of the experience. Because what is happening, it's just another opportunity to discover that the Creator is behind me and in front of me. That's all we need to do. Help each other realize that we're living in His world.
There are 8 billion people in the world, and there are a few thousands who are unique individuals who feel that the goal of their life is to discover the force that works on them from behind and before, and see how to work with it in such a way and answer unsolvable questions like what's the meaning of life and what's the purpose of life in this world. And that's what we have to appreciate every person, every friend who's here, because he has this question and because he's not lazy and in doing this work of scrutinizing what are the forces working on him and what's his goal in life.
Which is the beauty in this equation. When a person annuls himself, he basically crowns the Creator. So he lets there's none else besides him be in this world dominate. He plays according to the rules of bestowal, and it's a beautiful thing. And then everything connects, and everything is perfect.
I don't know what to add. We can really think about it on the one hand, like, being completely erased, and then you have no desire, no yearning to go in this direction. And we can describe it as going out of some field of yourself to some unbounded and infinite field that is all good and bestowal, or however you imagine that.
Let's play a game, all right? Let's pretend tomorrow morning we're all dead. So what are you leaving behind you? What's eternity? Just attribute your current reality to something outside of you, only through the friends. Through being, there's no you, there's only them. And being in this inclination is the only thing that exists.
Rav, if there's really none else besides him, how does it obligate me to treat enemies, haters, opposers, everyone? How do I determine my attitude, my system of relationship with all of those who somehow oppose, go against, hate, rise up against me? How should we relate to that? What do you recommend?
If there is none else besides Him, then with love. If you see that the Creator is awakening toward you through this colorful image of an enemy, then the Creator is, investing in you. He's giving you another present. Everything is presents, but this is a special one. So with love and care and appreciation.
It's, those things you say, but you don't identify with every word. You say, okay, I'll say it anyway. The Creator gives you the different states, gives you haters, and still, it doesn't matter. You have to see that He loves you with everything He's doing. And the more He, shows you, positions people against you who try to harm you and deflect you from the path and put spikes in your wheels, you have to see that He loves you even more, that He's not trying to push you away, He's trying to bring you closer. It's just His way of doing it. It's like a woman who wants your, attention, so she starts playing with you, flirting with you, disregarding you, but eventually she wants attention. The same with the Creator. He wants attention.
Right. Regarding the woman, we have to decide, are we playing her game or our game? Because this is really, again, with will to receive. And in these days, I look at nature and go, wow, look at this baseness. It's so low. It goes through your mind. It's like that. And still you're so influenced by these things. And you see what's the true importance you attribute to spirituality. If anything like that moves you miles away from the way, at least you don't delude yourself. You get a very clear understanding of your spirituality and your importance of spirituality compared to corporeality. And from this, you start moving toward the Prince, because you understand that my lack is close to null.
אתה רוצה לדבר?
Love towards haters is a very lofty degree. I think at first we can start with how it helps the health of the system. In every system, forces that seem to weaken, or that, whatever, the wolves in nature, it guards the health of the system. It cuts off the weak parts and preserves some fixed, some correct state.
The power of bestowal controls all other forces. If we crown it, this power of bestowal, all our other desires stay down.
We are reading from the writings of Rabash. Soon we will read from the writings of Rabash at 5 o'clock. Right now we will continue the workshop.
So like I was saying, you have to crown the Creator in order to be able to defeat all the enemies and for the enemies to become.
It's easy to think that the enemy or my hater is the cop that will give me a ticket at noon or something. But it's me. It's the little self that doesn't see the friends as they are, the little self that cares only about itself. This is the true enemy, the hater that wants to keep me locked in the cage, that, today will be the same as tomorrow. The coward that is afraid to go out. The Creator sends that too, but that's what we have to cope with. This is where we need the friend's help, this enemy.
When Rami speaks, I always get the feeling he's speaking to me.
I don't understand why you're so emotional. Everyone's moved so much.
No, I feel closest to the...
Rav, what does it mean that the Creator gives the soul to the person and then the person gives the soul back to the Creator? It's written something like that, right? What is it about?
Right, the question is, what does it mean that the Creator gives the person his soul and then the person gives the soul back to the Creator? What is reception?
It says, for the soul you have given me, the pure soul, and then before we pass away, we give the soul back to the Creator. What is that? What's the truth of that?
Yeah, even after we die, you have the merciful God whose soul is bundled. Reception is when you feel that all of reality is around you, that the Creator created a reality for you, that He's the first and He's the last, the Self is. And the person wants, with all his efforts, with the friends, with everything, come to a state where he attributes everything, all of reality to the Creator, that He's the first and He's the last. He gives reality back to the Creator.
That the Creator opens an opening for him to feel that there is something outside of him, and the person, on his part, agrees and lets the Creator lead him in this revelation.
Maybe it also connects to this thing that the Creator is behind me and before me, that if you want, in the end, in the beginning, He gives you this soul, this kli. At least He gives you a taste of it, and then by going by yourself to attain it, you give it back to Him. Because what are you doing? You're building a kli where He can clothe. So by that, you're giving it back to Him.
I think there's not a topic we left out of this workshop.
Out of 8 billion apes, some of them were awakened from above and were given a gift, a rope, an opportunity to be human. And when they take that rope and work among them and make an effort, they bring this reality, the feeling of the Creator, of bestowal, of connection, that is revealed in the connection between them.
The Creator gives the feeling that the friends are the soul for a few seconds, then He takes it back. So in those few seconds, what do you want? When you feel that the friends are your soul for a few seconds, it's like life and death.
I don't know, the only thing I have is gratitude. Yeah, right.
I don't know, but I think it starts from a person's game with himself, and then eventually he's playing the game for the Creator, that from sorrow of himself he comes to the sorrow of divinity. And this is what leads him on the way, and this is what brings the soul back to the Creator. Again,
the question is, what does it mean that the Creator gives you a soul? So I'm just saying, you're dedicated to yourself, right? You dedicate your life to yourself. You have to come to a state where you dedicate your life to the Creator.
I actually identify with what you said about the friends. What did you say again? Can you say that again?
That you feel that you're alive because you feel that your friends are your soul, and you're dead when you don't feel it. So the Creator took your soul. I don't know what it means to give it back. That's what I don't know. Another Creator takes your soul out. So that's what I think. The minute I feel that the friends are my life, the Creator has given me the soul. When it disappears,
Rav, should a person in every ascent and descent bless for receiving the soul from the Creator and giving the soul back to the Creator. Or it happens once in some other states. Spiritual states, of course, not corporeal. So in each and every ascent and descent, do we receive the soul and then give the soul back? Half a minute for an answer.
Right. If I was asking, that's probably the situation. So I guess we have to redefine what is the soul, and then we'll be able to deal with this workshop again.
The soul is the ping pong ball with which you play with the Creator.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to die to feel that for the worried viewers.
I don't know. Nothing to add.
The sense of spiritual liveliness is the soul. So yeah, in every state.
Right. It's just a kli. It's the kli. The states, he takes you through with the friends. That's your soul. He gives you the friends. You worked with him after you built the kli. He dressed in you, and then you gave it back to him.
Yeah, if you have a concern for the friends, that's the soul.
Let's move on to the next part of the lesson and sing a song.
אחים בני כל העם הזה, כל כך שלמים מחוברים, שרים מה טוב ומה נעים. אני לא תמים, זה לא חלום, סבלנו די כדי להבין, שלברוח אין לאן, ולא מספיק להאמין. עוד היא לעול מעט בינינו ובינו, עוד היא לעול מעט בינינו ובינו.
השיעור מבוסס על מאמרים מהספר כתבי בעל הסולם. את הספר ניתן להוריד באתר קבלה לעם, kab.co.il.
Hello, we're learning from writings of Rabash. Article, what degree a person needs to reach in order to not reincarnate. You may ask questions on Kab.tv. Selected questions will be aired during the lesson. Writings of Rabash. What degree a person needs to reach in order to not reincarnate. Question. What degree does a person need to reach in order for him not to be able to reincarnate another time? It's written that all of the people of Israel must reincarnate until they will complete all of the Naran Chai. However, most of the people do not have the 5 parts called Naran Chai, but only Nefesh, which is from the Asiyah. It follows that each one needs to correct only his part and the root of his soul, and no more than that. And by that, he concludes what he needs to correct. And the thing is that one needs to know that all of the souls are drawn from the soul of Adam Harishon, because after he has sinned with the sin of the tree of knowledge, his soul was divided to 600,000 parts. This means that the one light that Adam Harishon had, which the Holy Zohar called Ziraha Ila'ah, upper brightness, which he had in the Garden of Eden at once, spreads into numerous pieces. It is written in the book Panim Masbirot. Once good and bad have been mingled, meaning after the sin, a big structure was made for the klipot, as they have the strength to grip to holiness, to keep from them the light of the 7 days of creation was divided into very small pieces from which the klipot cannot suckle due to their smallness. For example, a king wanted to send a large number of gold coins to his son overseas. But all of his countrymen were thieves and swindlers, and he did not have one loyal messenger. What did he do? He divided. He broke all the coins into pennies and sent them through many messengers, so that the joy of stealing would not be worth blemishing the glory of the kingship. In this way, through an order of times in many souls, it is possible, through the illumination of the days, to scrutinize all the holy sparks that were robbed by the klipot due to the sin of the tree of knowledge. The meaning of many souls is division into inner lights, and many days means division into outer lights. And each penny accumulates into the amount of a great light which Adam Harishon sinned, and then will be the end of correction. It follows that each one is born with only a tiny part of the soul of Adam Harishon. When he corrects his part, he no longer needs to reincarnate. Therefore, one can correct only that which belongs to his part. It is written about it in the book Tree of Life by the Ari. There is not a day that is like another, or a moment that is like another. There is not a person who is like another, and the Chelbona will correct what the Levona will not correct. Rather, each one must correct that which belongs to his part. However, we must know that each person who is born has the work of choice. For one is not born righteous, as our sages said. And these are their words. Rabbi Hanania ben Papa said that angel appointed over pregnancy is called Layla. He takes a drop, places it before the Creator, and says to him, Lord of the world, what shall become of this drop? A mighty one or a weakling, a wise or a fool, wealthy or poor. But wicked or righteous, he did not say. This means that one is not born righteous, as he did not say righteous or poor. Rather, this is given to man's choice, according to each one's labor in Torah and mitzvot. So he is rewarded with cleansing his heart and correcting that which he must according to the root of his soul. And then he is completed.
Clear thus far? Well, of course. Yes, you can ask. No microphones. They don't want to give you. Yes.
He says there is no day that is similar to the other, and there is no moment similar to the other, and there is no man similar to his friend, and the Levuna will correct what the Levuna will not correct, but each one corrects his own part.
Mm-hmm.
So where is the inclusion here? Each one corrects himself.
The correction is in the itkalelut, in the integration, that each one is included in himself.
Can you explain that, what it means each one is included of himself?
Yeah. For instance, I am blue, and before me I see 20 different colors, so I mix myself with these 20 different colors, and that's how I correct myself. But I'm there in these 20 colors, and I'm the main thing. I'm the primary thing here. I determine the kind of mixture I have with the other souls. I am Malchut. My desire, it's their qualities. They are the first 9. They're called qualities. As I work with them in my will to receive, I want to integrate with them. They become sapphires, sfirot. And then, when I end this integration, I have a partzuf of a soul, a neshama. And of course, this is by the light that reforms. And when the light that reforms ends this work over the entire integration, what comes is actions that, when the light fills the partzuf, and then we say that the soul is in the body, the neshama is in the guf. Yes?
He continues and he says, this is not clear. We must know that each person who is born has the work of choice. For one is not born righteous, as our sages said, these are the words, etc.
Yes, a wild ass. If you're talking about a human being, Adam, a human being in our world, like you, well, this is still in the animate level. But when he says Adam here, being born, Adam meaning resembling Adam Arishon, resembling the Creator. That's the birth of Adam. When the Torah speaks, it's in the holy tongue. It's not in the everyday beastly tongue. More? Everything's clear? Okay. Yes, Akoka.
I wanted to ask, he writes here in one of the paragraphs that every...
Not as if. Read it so we can understand what you're asking about. Because when you're changing the verse and then you're asking about it, we won't know. So read the verse.
Okay, so I'm reading. He writes, so it turns out that each one that is born only with a small part of the soul of Adam Harishon, and when he corrects that part, he does not need to reincarnate.
Yes.
That's why a person can only correct what relates to his part, etc.
His part, meaning this spark we're talking about. That's him, Adam. His ID. That's him. Now, his whole partzuf has to include all the souls that have been shattered. That's clear, right? That's by the light that reforms, and then this light fills the corrected kli, and that means that he has a whole soul.
So the question is, if each and every one corrects only his part, then why is there a dependency here that each one needs to do actions on the others? It's like there's another dependency here that no one can correct himself, you always help each other correct, and here he says only you correct yourself and that's it.
Okay, that's your question. Meaning I have to come out to what we call a field that the Lord has blessed and to collect all the souls, the personal, the partial souls, I connect them to me, and then I have my soul, thank God, and it's whole. So I'm told I cannot do it unless with the friends. I have to get there okay, or the way we define it, it's called arvut, covenant. When I cannot save myself from imprisonment because my will to receive is in order to receive. My will to receive does not want to integrate with others. That's why I must perform an action so I can come out of myself to them, and how to communicate with them, and how to add myself, my corrected self, which is already restricted with a screen, reflected light, to integrate with them together to one partzuf called Rosh, later for it to spread in the guf. So this is certainly something I cannot do alone at all. Now the question is, here it is written that I have to do it. Now what I just said is that it's clear to us that I can do nothing alone, right? So what do? We do it together. I can't, and they can't. However, the Creator can. That's why together we have to connect, and each one helps his friend. And when we help each other, all of us together, turning to the Creator, and then the upper light does this action on us. Yes?
But eventually, all of the actions that the private part needs to do, he does it in order to bring correction for himself, or he just does it and something happens?
No. It's him. What are you talking about? I am going to correct my soul. I have nothing else to correct. You see how he writes it, as if it's personal. I have to correct my soul. How can I mingle or mix in the business of a soul of another? However, in order to correct my soul, I have to come out to them and to awaken them, that they will awaken me, and together, ultimately, we will ask the Creator.
Okay, it all eventually reaches prayer to the Creator, but
the prayer of many.
Okay, but still, my confusion is in this place that we say that you're not allowed to pray for yourself. You're not allowed to ask the corrections for yourself. You always have to be with a tendency outwards. Otherwise, you're creating destruction upon yourself.
Yes.
So where is the self-correction if you can't do anything towards yourself?
But your soul is outside yourself. It's in others. The first 9.
So you're correcting what's outside of yourself, and that's considered that you corrected yourself?
Yes. You don't feel it otherwise. We had this question before 2 hours ago when we talked. How, when I come out to the friends, how do I relate to them as my soul? More? Question from Rehovot, where? Italians went to Rehovot. Okay. Shai is there too. Moshe is there too. Oh, clear. Well, yes, Rehovot, ask.
Rav, okay. You hear us?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, there is a very large gathering, over 70 friends from all around Ashkelon, Rehovot, from Chaver Group, friends from Latvia, from Italy, from Romania. It's a huge gathering that's happening here.
I can see, you ran away.
We're with you completely. We have a question from our friend from Italy.
Ciao Rav, sono Cosimo dall'Italia. La domanda è rispetto all'ultima domanda del workshop, dove è stato detto che prima il creatore dà l'anima all'uomo e poi l'uomo la deve ridare al creatore. E ci chiedevamo qual è il senso di tutto questo.
So about the last question in the workshop, that the Creator gives the soul to man and man has to give the soul back to the Creator. So he's asking, what does this all mean? What is all this for?
Oh, this is a very big thing. That, in truth, well, this is a kind of work that a person determines his own ascents and descents already. Therefore, by his own efforts, he gets an ascent, meaning a correction of the vessels and the soul in these corrected vessels. The light spreads in the vessels. The soul from the Creator, the neshama from the Creator, and he uses it. We're going to talk about the way he uses things. It's not simple. He has the lower ones, the upper ones. He puts himself in between the upper and the lower. And later, once he finishes the correction of the lower, because he doesn't exist for his own sake, he has no reason to be there. So he passes down to the lower what he needs, and what he got from the lower, he returns it to the upper, as if he has nothing. He remains again in his form of null. And that's how each one on this chain works. We're going to talk about it in more detail in the future, but let's continue with the article.
Title: The First Degree in which man is born. It is written in the Zohar, "Come and see, when a person is born, he is given a soul from the side of the beast, the side of purity, the side of those who are called holy ofanim, meaning from the world of Asiya. If he merits more, he is given ruach from the side of holy animals, meaning from the side of Yetzirah. If he merits more, he is given neshama from the side of the throne, meaning from the world of Bria. If he merits more, he is given nefesh in the way of Atzilut. If he merits more, he is given ruach d'Atzilut from the side of the middle pillar, and he is called the son of the Creator. As it is written, you are the sons of the Lord your God. If he merits more, he is given neshama, which is bina, of which it was said, the whole neshama will praise the Lord. And the name Havaya is completed in them. Thus, the completion of the soul is when he has Naran from Bia and Naran from Atzilut. This is the completion that Adam Harishon had before the sin.
All of this is katnut, right? It's just katnut, without the vessels of reception in order to bestow.
And only after the sin, he descended from his degree, and his soul divided into 600,000 souls. Because of it, a person's spirituality is called neshama. Even when he has only nefesh de nefesh, since there is a rule, whenever we speak of some discernment, we speak of the uppermost discernment. And because the uppermost discernment of a person is the degree of neshama, in general, we always refer to a man's spirituality by the name neshama. However, although each person is born in the smallest degree, they said every person can be as Moses, if he wishes to cleanse his work, since he can take another higher spirit from the height of Yetzirah, and also a neshama from the height of Bria. By that you will also understand the famous matter in the words of our sages, that the spirits of the righteous or their souls come and become impregnated in a person in what is called impregnation to assist him in the work of the Creator. It is also presented in the Sulam, and these are its words. That thing of the donkey driver is the assistance to the souls of the righteous, which is sent to them from above in order to raise them from degree to degree. Were it not for this assistance that the Creator sends to the righteous, they would not be able to exit their degree and rise higher. Therefore, the Creator sends each and every righteous a high soul from above, to each according to his merit and degree, which assists him on his way. And this is called the impregnation of the soul of the righteous, and it is called the revealing of the soul of the righteous. It follows that when we say there is no generation in which there is none such as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it doesn't mean that they were born this way and they have no choice. Rather, these are people who exert in walking on the path of truth and make the effort they have to make. These people always receive help from above through the impregnation of the soul of the righteous. That is, they receive the strength to rise up the upper degrees. It follows that everything that is given from above is as assistance, but not without any work and choice. And the persistence of the world is through these righteous who extend abundance from above, and by that there is persistence to the world.
Questions over there? Someone, one of the guests. Please.
Можем ли мы сказать здесь, что идет вот та классификация уровня подъема? Это уровень включения в группу. То есть это описывается, насколько мы включаемся в группу.
Can we say that our ascent is according to the extent we connect to the group, we integrate with the group? Well, of course, this is the way we should understand. That's how it happens. However, to the extent that I integrate with the group and I work reciprocally in such an interaction with a group, I do it to them, they do it to me, and we do it together, this determines the intensity of my spiritual kli. I don't have kli, neshama, and the group also doesn't have. Only if we connect together, they help me, I help them. And so all the 9 friends, the 9 help the 10th. Every 9 helps the 10th until everyone integrates, and then you have an ideal finished vessel in the current degree, according to the aviyut, the coarseness that awakens in each of the friends. We're through with this work. We got the revelation, the Creator, the upper world. We feel ourselves where we are, what we are. One moment, and immediately we start falling. This is called returning the soul. Now, here there's a question. How do we do it? Do we do it with awareness, feeling it, and blessing it? And there's this prayer. Before a person passes away, he has to say this prayer called confession. I'm returning the soul to you, the Creator. Well, that's the words we use, but actually this means that because I'm now leaving the spiritual degree, I understand that I have to enter, just as one who jumps into the water. I have to go into my will to receive and take a deeper will to receive, a coarser will to receive, to raise it and to start working with it. That's the way it is in the group every time. Everyone and all of us together, and that's the way it is. That's it. It's just that we get a sense, and the sense here are different states that are very, very intense in emotion and in their mind. More?
No,
you don't want to ask? Oh, I need... Yeah, I owe Morrissey. He didn't go to Rehovot, he came over here.
Good morning, Rav, World Kli, all the friends who are on the way to Israel. My question is, during the article, it's written that the righteous, it's not that they come as righteous to this world.
How can it be? Wait, hold on. How could you think that a person is born righteous?
We once learnt.
Oh, because his father is righteous.
No,
rather.
We once learnt that special souls come down to the world every 10 generations. They clothe in Abraham, Moses, etc.
Well, and?
That could be a foundation, but here it says that it isn't.
That's what you thought? Meaning we now are in between these 10 generations, so it's impossible for anyone to be righteous.
Everyone is righteous except for me.
Well, that's...
Okay, the question is, it says that the help is given from the ibur of the souls of the righteous. In the end of the article it says that. Second last paragraph. What does that mean?
That in a person, a soul incarnates, dresses inside a person, and he gets the strength from it. Light comes to the vessels, clothes on them, and gives them the strength to rise above the ego in them, the shattering in them, and then they can rise and work in order to bestow. That's the meaning of the impregnation of the soul of the righteous.
Thank you very much, Rav.
Get rid of all the mysticism. And these 10 generations, that too. What does it mean, 10 generations? It's not about beasts in our world being born and dying. It's incarnations that may take an hour. 10 generations pass and that's it. It has nothing to do with time. Rather, how should I say it? When you move from one parzuf to another, from one degree to another, so as usual, just as you have 10 sfirot, neither 9 nor 11, so are these parzufim, either 5 as we say in each and every world, or 10 if we specify them in more detail. That's why we say that once in 10 generations there is a leap. It's true, and then righteous is born. He came to the world, meaning a new revelation. More?
Me?
Who? Italy. Go ahead.
Stefano from Italy is asking, what is reincarnation and why do we even learn about it?
But we're correcting our vessels. I have a will to receive. Okay. I have a will to receive. Hold on a moment. I had a big will. There was a big will to receive called Adam Harishon. Adam.
Oh,
I wrote it in Russian. Okay, so I'll write it this way. This is Hebrew. Hey, English, right? Okay. Adam. All right. That's, what did he have? Nefesh. Nefesh, ruach de ruach. Suppose he had neshama. Neshama. That's it. No more than that. Now, he goes through the shattering. The light departs outwards, and inside, empty. Only a corrupt desire, a will to receive, ego. 613 such desires. And here we have 600, outside we have 613 lights. Lights. Okay, now we have to correct them. As we correct them, we already come not to... Oh, here he has nothing. An upper radiance, a point in the heart. That's it. Now here we reach Yechida, the final correction. Gmar Tikkun. The final correction. Yes. What did he ask? What is reincarnation? It's when I have. Here, I was corrected wholly in the 10 Sefirot. I was connected to everyone. However, the connection was very small, without my ego. Now I am corrupt, and I'm returning myself to the corrected form. The transition from the corruption to the correction is called incarnation. Incarnation. That's it. That's the meaning of the soul being incarnated, reincarnated. What is the meaning of this incarnation? It's revealed as a broken part. This is the meaning of a person being born an egoist, corrupt, wild as his boar. And then he reaches a state where he's corrected. He went through this transition. It's just like the story of the king trying to pass on his treasure from one place, one state to another. So he divided his treasure to many parts, and then you can pass it from one place to another, from a corrupted place to a corrected one. This is the corrupt place. This is the corrected place. That's how you pass it from minus to plus. That's the meaning of incarnation. Gilgul. All right? More? Other questions? Yes?
As
10 on duty, with the 10s from all the world, we would like to request, before the end of the lesson, we would ask to do a short workshop about what we spoke about.
Go ahead. Oh, there's something I don't want to forget. Today we have a lesson at noon, and let's do something else, not Zohar, something more active. Let's not read Zohar. So whatever you'd like, go ahead. What subject you want to talk about? You don't have to tell me now, but choose something and for noon, and then we'll do it.
Maybe to continue what we spoke about today, to convince ourselves that concern for the friends is concern for my soul.
Go ahead, bring me the materials, and we'll have it. I like learning according to the sources.
So we ask the friends, we have a few minutes to talk in tens between us, how throughout the day, let's try and reach practical how is concern for my friends concern for my soul, upon which the entire fate of the society depends on. Again, let's think of practical suggestions of how can we make the concern for the friends my concern, upon which the spiritual fate of the entire society depends on. Let's discuss this for a few minutes and then we'll continue with the daily task.
What are we about to do during the day? What are we going to do today? First of all, whoever has time, he should come over here. Come to the center. There are many things to do here before the Congress. That's one thing. And let's just commit. Even if it holds only for 5 minutes, but let's start from holding 5 minutes, that we are committed to pray for the friends, always to be in the reality that the Creator is around them and they are completely annulled to Him.
There's a great opportunity to try and clothe in the friends that came from all around the world in the most corporeal, even way. What brought this friend here? What does he want to achieve in the Congress? What responsibility do I have for every second that he's here for him to get the livelihood that he wants? And how he's included in those same souls we spoke about. That's actual practice throughout the day.
Convincing, that's the previous step. Now we have to feel it. That's the best kind of convincing. I don't buy these attempts to convince. What I do buy is emotions. We're an emotional vessel. I agree with the friend's advice to come over here to integrate with the deficiencies of the friends. Then reality starts changing for you.
Maybe that each one will commit how he, throughout the day, tries to annul himself towards the attempts of the friends, to awaken each one on his path, tries to annul towards it and see only the desire of the friends that he tries to awaken.
Integrating with what's going on here, the connection between the friends is a real life buoy. And it's written that if you attach to the friends, and they have spirituality, you're going to get something. And friends from all over the world came with great investment, great exertion all year long. And now you just have to attach yourself to them, to draw forces from them.
And if we look at our day is rich with actions. We have article noon. We have an afternoon lesson at 12:45 Israel time. We have another gathering in the afternoon with all the friends. So we have a lot of time to be together. Most important is to take the opportunities of this time. I would look at this period in general, to see it as an opportunity that we're given from above, both the conditions and the strength and ability to realize it.
I can act outwardly and inwardly that I'm the friend's environment. I'm the optimal environment for a friend or the friends.
In good time, we have two newborns, two new books. First book is Why Are We Hated? The Solution to Anti-Semitism According to the Wisdom of Kabbalah. In this book, we tried to take the painful topic of anti-Semitism and make order of it once and for all. We collected all of Rav's words about this topic, the sharpest, clearest, most inspiring words about that, where it comes from, and how to end it. The book is written in such a way that it's suitable for any reasonable person. He doesn't need to be a Kabbalah student. It will also be suitable for us and everyone we love. I think it's one of the most important books we've ever written, and it must be in every house. Our future depends on it. Why do they hate us? The solution to anti-Semitism according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. The second book is Holidays and Roots. I'll just present it. Holidays and Roots, the method of connection according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. This is a book that was put together over many years by many friends. Everything Rav said about different holidays, Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, Purim, etc. The book sheds light upon these holidays, and it helps us realize the inner potential of every one of these holidays in the highest level. So these are the two new books. Now we want to give a quick update about the Congress. Sheyovitz, go ahead.
Okay, Rav, we'd like to report very special connections and preparations that are constantly happening towards the Congress. First of all, this week we had a very special gathering on Tuesday of all the points in the hearts all over Israel. Dozens of branches, hundreds of people from the point in the heart. And in addition, the friends decided that they're going to unite for the sake of the matter. For example, the Hadera and Zichron groups, the points in the hearts of Hadera and Zichron, decided to be together in the center of Zichron and to make this special connection. And also Petach Tikva and Tel Aviv added a Zoom connection with Italy, and hundreds of people celebrated together. Besides that, at this moment, we just saw a Rehovot group, and we're just going to say who was there. Chaver group, Minsk, Riga, Revadim, Ashkelon, Italy, friends from Petach Tikva, Vienna, and Romania. Everyone gathered in Rehovot, and also Netanya and Ra'anana connected together to do, wow, that's beautiful, to connect together. And Natzeret, Haifa, and Afula and Sheyovitz will continue.
Okay, 3 more things. Many friends are going to take roles during the Congress. We expect 1,200 volunteers daily at the Congress, in the kitchen, organizing, registration, etc. If there are friends who are still looking for a way to bestow, you still have time. And every one of the evenings that we invite friends and family, then due to what we spoke about in the lesson, we've organized a tour. We have a very special tour where from 6 to 6:45, where you can bring your friends, your family to one of the stands there, and they can go on a tour and hear about technology, how it works, about meet friends from the world clear. So it's important to know this if you're bringing friends or family, and also if there are friends in the world clear who have family in Israel, and we know you want to invite them to the Congress, then you can also approach me or other friends, and you can get these invitations to the Congress.
Okay, friends, we'd like to present the 10s on duty. We had Haifa 10 number 1, Nuremberg 10 number 2, and Mexico 10s number 7 and 8. And to continue the 3-minute discussion we just had, the daily task is convince ourselves that the concern for the friends is the concern for my soul. And that's what the spiritual fate of the entire society depends on. I'll repeat this task. Convince ourselves that caring for the friends is the caring for my soul. And that's what the spiritual fate of the whole society depends on.
Thank you to our viewers on television, and have a good day. We're all one family, friends, students. You're all invited to the World Kabbalah Convention that will take place 20 to 22nd of February, Tel Aviv. For details on enrollment, 1-700-509-209, or go to kab.co.il. Let's watch a short clip. Congratulations, you were born. Now you need to grow up, to study, to go find yourself, find a direction, love, succeed, take some time, get back to routine. Don't you have any questions? If you won't ask, how will you know? 21 to 22nd of February, Exhibition Gardens, Tel Aviv. Dear friends, the world team of tens is inviting all those who don't yet have a 10 to write to congress.10@gmail.com and you will be added to a 10. Thank you and have a great day.
Everything's gonna be alright. The sun will shine. לאור שחודר עכשיו אל הנשמה.
Las pruebas vienen y fuertes nos harán. Por eso, amigo, debes aguantar.
Я знаю, что есть свет,
но без твоих света нет. Adelante, adelante, un nuevo día brillará.
Keep moving, with fire in your eyes. להמשיך קדימה, ישר אל האור.
Everything's gonna be just fine, fine, fine.
יפציע אור של יום חדש,
אז כאן llegará él.
There's no more heart of stone, all the trouble already had gone.
בכל מקום, בכל קצה, נרגיש את דם החיים.
Продвигайся, где граница света и тень. להמשיך קדימה, ישר אל האור.
Adelante, adelante, con fuego en tus ojos ya.
Yeah, keep moving, until the sun will rise. Продвигайся, где граница света и тень. להמשיך קדימה, ישר אל האור.
Thank you.